Hi there, this is Sandra with the Mortgage Center. Thanks for joining us tonight for our Facebook Live. I have one of our private lenders, Rob Wormold, here with me. Rob.
Thank you for having me over, Sandra. This is great. I love to talk about what I do.
So you're a private lender.
I am. I'm not institutional. I don't work for the bank. I don't work for one of the big mortgage companies. I'm an individual who likes to put his money into other people's dilemmas, create a solution, and use the property as a security.
Okay, so like some of the folks that are joining us here tonight or might be viewing this video have lost their job, maybe hit a road bump somewhere along the lines, are having trouble kind of even making their mortgage payments or have gotten into debt.
Seen it so much, Sandra. And the truth is, it can happen to anybody, including the mortgage lender. Anybody can get into trouble.
Exactly.
This life is not an easy road. It's the shadow of death for a lot of people. And there's bumps and hiccups along the way. We can run into problems with illness, with Revenue Canada, with money management, with litigation. Anything can happen. So we need to work together to work our way out of these problems and hopefully keep the house.
Right,
We want to keep the house in the family. That's where the marriages are strong.
Exactly. And you know, Rob, you were telling me about a private loan that you're actually doing right now, and it was a couple, and one of the people in the couple got sick and couldn't make payments.
That's absolutely true. They fell behind. Credit limit dropped way below the acceptable banking level. Banks won't touch them. Okay, so the mortgage broker is helping them with a proposal to work their way out of the debt, but they need a year to see this through. So what we have to do is we've got to pay off some of these guys and keep the first mortgage happy. And I'm coming in with a new second mortgage.
But what I thought was interesting on that, Rob, is that obviously you need an appraisal on the property, right?
I have to know what's going on.
Okay.
So that's my security. This is not my personal money. This is my family money. So I am entrusted and I have to care for that.
Exactly.
I can't just give it away. So what we're going to do is we're going to send an appraiser who's going to give me a report as to what that property is worth and what condition it's in.
Okay. Well, and what was interesting about this situation that you brought up is there was quite a bit of equity in the property. And with somebody losing their job, they were having probably trouble just making the first mortgage payments.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is they're going to prepay all the mortgage payments that are owing to me at the outset of the mortgage on closing. So the lawyer will withhold my interest for the whole year and pay it up front. They will not have to make a monthly payment. All right. So that's called prepaid interest. And that's good in their case because their income can't support the mortgage payment.
Right.
We know that if we go into this, they're going to get into trouble. So let's avoid that at the outset.
Right. And so why is this appraisal so important?
The appraisal is important because it tells me what's going on in the house. It tells me whether this house is average, above average, whether it's saleable, where the weaknesses are, whether there's water leaks, and it's going to tell me basically what the market value of that house is. So that if I'm lending them $150,000 and the house is $300,000, I know I'm just absolutely safe and in the clear, and that we got a good deal here.
Right. And you know, some of the people that might be watching this Facebook video are older. Right. And you know what I find is that a lot of banks now have this 90 rule where the amortization and their age cannot be more than 90. But what I'm finding too is more and more people are retiring with debt. And quite a bit of debt, right? And sometimes it's because they've given some of the money to their children or supported their families.
So if you're 65 years old and you've managed to build up some debt, paying for your kids going to school and covering tuition, and you're not going to get a conventional mortgage, you might need a little help.
Right, because you know, maybe you're not ready to sell your house and downsize, and there's equity in there.
That's right. Now, Sandra, I'm not trying to do myself out of business, but I would say that if you can get somebody a good deal at the bank, by all means do it.
We tried.
That's your first place.
Exactly.
You're going to get a better rate there.
Yes, of course. We want to try to get the best option for the person.
So I'm the person you want to come to when the banks fail.
Okay.
For one reason or another, the bank is not a good fit. Then you're going to pay a little more with the private than you do with the bank. But it's going to be a short-term solution. So in the whole scheme of things, it's not going to be that expensive.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to a lady this afternoon, and she was in a similar situation. She owns a condo. It's worth about 300 grand. She has $120,000 mortgage on it.
Right.
She just retired and had about maybe $30,000 or $40,000 worth of debt.
Sure.
And the banks will not give her a mortgage because she's not collecting CPP or OAS yet.
There
right?
you are. Yeah.
Right. And she's paying 12, 15, 20 plus. Yeah.
Interest on that.
So how can a private lender be a good solution for that?
Well, private lender would love to help in a situation like that, because when you're paying 20 to 30% on your credit cards and the pressure's on and you're getting phone calls and you're just going crazy with this kind of thing, then the private lender would like to come along and pay off all those debts for you. Restore your credit report because your credit has been shot.
Yeah.
Let's face it. And then after the credit's been restored, about a year later, you pay off the private by walking over to the bank and getting a new first mortgage.
Exactly. There you go. Now, one of the things you've got an accounting background.
Oh, I do. I'm a chartered accountant.
Oh, no.
I've practiced for 30 years and I love it. Yes.
So let's talk about CRA.
Okay.
And outstanding income taxes.
Right.
Yeah. So I've had customers walk through my door. Now, do you have an idea of what the interest rate is that CRA charges?
Yes. The CRA charges 5% for being 1 day late, and it goes up 1% a month to 12%. And penalties double that. And everything doubles, penalties and interest double if you're more than one misdemeanor, in other words, late on a payment for the last 3 years.
Oh man!
So they used to call it.
20%.
They used to call it interest and penalty. They used to call it interest and penalty.
Okay.
They were taken to the Supreme Court for charging extreme rates of interest.
Oh no!
And they lost. So now they call it interest penalty. They just changed the name.
Okay.
But it's the same old game, the same old thing.
So I sometimes run across self-employed people who may not have done their taxes for a couple of years. They finally get around to it, and they owe CRA $50,000 or $60,000 worth of income tax return. How can a private loan help with something like that?
If it's HST that you're behind or payroll, okay, that's viewed as trust money. Okay, so trust monies are payable by the corporations, the company that owes the money.
Yeah.
But they can go through the wall of the corporation, and the CRA can go right to the director and get his house and all his personal assets. So getting behind with the CRA on HST and payroll is not a good idea. No. It's very, very serious. If you're behind on your income tax, it's like another debt. You're paying a huge amount of interest, but they're not going to take away your house.
Right.
Yes.
So we have to understand what kind of arrears they're in.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Now,
the worst thing about the CRA is their collectors are just obnoxious people.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my stars.
I know. I've been audited a couple of times for various reasons.
I know. And if this gets turned over to collections, you are dealing with very, very toxic people who are wounded themselves. Yeah. And they just take it out on you.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Beat you up.
Oh no. Now let's talk about something more positive.
Okay.
Let's talk about the process.
Okay, the process.
Well, you know what I find is I get people calling me and they're frustrated.
Yeah.
Because they've gone to the bank, they've done an application, it's been cumbersome, it requires everything, your kitchen sink, your firstborn child, and your favorite pet dog.
Okay. The mortgage application is pretty standard and straightforward.
No kidding.
Okay, so Sandra, you are responsible for getting me the application.
Yes, exactly. And that's so easy for us. Like for those of you who are flexible with online stuff, we've got a really great online portal. Like if you've ever ordered anything from Amazon or something like that, it's pretty standard application. And then what we'll do is we'll follow up with you and fill in all the blanks and make sure we have the documents that are ready to go so that when you actually get the application and review it, you know what you're dealing with, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I need to understand the situation.
Okay.
I need to understand the property and the borrower situation, and I got to make sure it's a right fit. In other words, is this the kind of person I can help?
Yeah.
Is this the kind of property I can take as a security?
And you're mostly looking at the property, right?
Well, I'm looking at the property. I don't worry about the income. If the income is, if you lost your job, I'm going to help you through. Okay? Because if you've got a property, then we can loan on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So Sandra, you're going to get me the application that describes the assets and the liabilities and the income and the circumstances. I'm going to get an appraisal done on the property.
Right.
The borrower just has to let the appraiser in. He's going to take pictures, walk through the house, and give me a report on the condition.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is once you see the application, before the appraisal, you put together a proposal, right?
I put together a letter of intent indicating all the conditions and terms of the loan.
Yeah, so it's just pending the appraisal.
Yes.
And really,
And you know the condition of the house.
Exactly.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, because we've already done our due diligence on our end. Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yes. If the ceiling is leaking in the kitchen and the water is dripping through and the roof is in disrepair and the basement's got water in it, then maybe that house should be bulldozed.
Yeah.
Okay? But
that'll come up on the appraisal usually. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only other thing is the credit. So the credit is the credit rating, so we understand what the history is and what the problem is.
Yeah. And I mean, just so for those of you who are joining us, like bad credit is not an issue with private lenders.
No, we lend based on property, not on income.
Right.
So we don't expect to be doing private loans with good credit ratings on your account.
Right. So for those of you who are joining us and you've had some credit issues in the past, that's not
an obstacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what we're trying to do is create a solution here. We're not trying to cover up something that's difficult and keep it going forever. Right. We're trying to create a solution so that you work your way out of it. This is the ideal circumstances.
Yeah.
Stability, progress, prosperity for the homeowner.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think that wraps up for tonight.
All right, that's great. Thank you.
So thanks, Rob, for joining us.
Good for you.
You can find us if you are interested in or finding that you're in a bad spot financially, we can certainly help you with that. You can check us out at skipthebank.ca and you can contact me through there, or you can even book a 15-minute telephone consultation. We'd be happy to help.
Skip the bank. Here we go.
Skipthebank.ca.
Okay.
Have a good night.